It was one of those nights in Salem when the sky just wouldn't stop crying, the kind of night when thunder rolls through the hills, and every flash of lightning feels like the world blinking. The streets were empty. No cars, no people, just the sound of rain tapping rooftops like 1,000 tiny clocks. Out there on an old, forgotten road, a black sedan sat stranded by the side. Its headlights flickered once, twice then died. Steam rose from the hood, and the driver, a man in his 30s, kicked the tire with a sigh. Joy, grumbling softly, "Perfect. Just freaking perfect, narrator." He pulled his coat tighter, tried his phone. No signal. Only the endless rain. But up the hill, through the haze of storm, a light glowed faintly, a mansion, tall, dark, silent, like it had been waiting for someone. Joy grabbed his bag, started walking up the dirt path. Each step squelched in the mud. The wind howled like a warning. When he reached the gate, it creaked open on its own, like the house had been expecting him. Inside the mansion, a woman stood by the window watching the storm. Her name was Elena, a writer, young, curious, someone who had lived too long alone with her stories. When she saw the figure outside, she hesitated, then grabbed her umbrella and stepped out. Elena, calling out, "Hey! You okay out there?" Joy shouting over the rain. "Car broke down. Guess I'm not having much luck tonight." Elena smiled faintly. "Well, luck's better indoors. Come on before you freeze, narrator." She led him up the steps, the rain dripping off their coats. The door groaned as it opened, spilling warm light into the cold night. Inside, the air was thick with old wood and forgotten time. A grandfather clock ticked slowly in the corner. Candlelight trembled in its own shadow. Joy looked around, eyes scanning every painting, every inch of the hallway like he knew it already. Elena noticed it too. "Elena, you've been here before?" Joy paused. "Not exactly. Just feels familiar." "Narrator." She laughed lightly, trying to shake off the unease. "Well, make yourself at home. I'll grab you a towel and something hot." She disappeared into the kitchen. Joy stood by the fireplace, staring at an old photograph on the wall. A group of people in front of the same mansion. Their faces faded, but one of them looked a lot like him. He blinked, leaned closer, but the photo was too worn to tell. Moments later, Elena returned with 2 mugs of coffee. She handed him one. "Elena, so, where were you headed on a night like this?" Joy, "Back home. Or at least that's what I thought." "Narrator." She laughed softly, not sure what he meant. But something about his tone, a mix of nostalgia and sadness, stuck in her mind. As the night went on, they talked by the fire. Stories of travel, loss, life. Elena found herself strangely comfortable around him, as if she'd known him long before tonight. But every time she glanced at him, he seemed distant, like part of him was somewhere else. Hours passed. The storm outside didn't let up. When midnight hit, a power surge flickered the lights, and in that brief blackout, Elena swore she heard whispering upstairs. When the lights came back, Joy was staring at the ceiling. "Elena, you heard that too?" Joy quietly. "Yeah. Sounded like a door." Narrator. They listened. Nothing, just rain. But the unease lingered. Later that night, after Joy went to the guest room, Elena couldn't sleep. Something about that man, his name, his face, it stirred something deep in her memory. She got up, walked through the dark hallway, and stopped at the old staircase leading to the attic. The air was colder there. The wood creaked under her feet. At the top, a small door sat slightly ajar, a door she'd never noticed before. Her hand trembled as she pushed it open. Inside was dust, broken furniture, and an old wooden chest. She knelt down, opened it carefully, and froze. Inside was a photograph. A man standing beside a car, his hand on the hood, smiling. The name on the back read, "John Ethel, 1999. Her whisper cracked the silence. "That car, that's Joy's car." Narrator. Low tone. Her heart pounded. Thunder rolled outside. Every shadow in that attic seemed alive. She stumbled back, clutching the photo. The floor creaked behind her. She turned, but no one was there, only the echo of footsteps, fading. She ran downstairs, breath short, calling out, "Elena, Joy." Where are you? No answer, only the storm. She looked outside through the window and froze again. The car was gone. Narrator, pause. But somehow she could still hear the engine. Somewhere, far away. The storm outside raged like it had a voice of its own. Rain slammed the windows. The mansion groaned under the wind, and Elena stood frozen in the hallway, the photograph trembling in her hands. Her heart pounded so loud, she almost didn't hear the faint creak upstairs again. She turned toward the staircase, whispering to herself, Elena, maybe it's just the wind. Just the wind. But deep down, she knew it wasn't. Every instinct told her something was wrong. She walked slowly up the steps, each one complaining beneath her feet. At the top, the light bulb flickered, casting long, crawling shadows along the wall. The attic door, the same one she'd left open, was now closed. She reached out, fingers trembling, and turned the handle. The door swung open with a low, heavy sigh. The chest she'd opened earlier, now empty. The photograph, gone. Elena gasped. Stepping back then, behind her a voice. Joy, softly. Looking for something? She turned, and there he was, standing in the doorway, his clothes still damp, his eyes darker than before. Elena, you scared me. Where did you go? The car, it's gone. Joy, slow, calm. Yeah, I took care of it. Elena, took care of it? What does that even mean? Narrator, he didn't answer. Instead, he stepped closer, his gaze fixed on the photo frame still clutched in her hand. Joy, you shouldn't have gone through that box. Elena, what are you talking about? Who are you, Joy? Narrator, low, suspenseful. For a moment, the air between them froze. The lightning outside lit his face, and she saw something. Off, his reflection in the dusty mirror behind him didn't move. She stumbled back. No, that's not possible. Joy sighed, and for a second his expression softened, almost sad. Joy, you ever feel like you've been somewhere before? Like a memory that keeps looping, but you can't remember how it started? Elena stared at him, voice breaking. Who are you? He looked down, then met her eyes again. Joy, I used to live here, long before you, back when this house had a family, a wife, a son, and a man named John Ethel. Elena. John Ethel. That name. Joy. Yeah, that's me. Narrator. Quiet, eerie. The thunder cracked so loud it felt like the world split open. Elena's breath caught. She shook her head. No, that can't be. That photo's from 1999. Joy, I know. That's the year it all ended. The car crash, the fire, the locked room upstairs. Narrator. Elena's eyes darted to the corner, to the heavy wooden door she had never dared to open. Joy followed her gaze. Joy, you want to know the truth? It's behind that door, Elena whispered. What's behind it? Joy, my last night. Narrator. He turned, slowly walking toward the door. Elena hesitated, then followed, her mind screaming not to, but her feet moved anyway. When Joy touched the handle, the metal hissed under his hand, and the door unlocked on its own. The smell of smoke and old memories filled the air. Inside was a burned-out room, walls blackened, floor covered in ash. In the center lay an old melted frame. Inside it, a photo. Joy with a woman who looked exactly like Elena. Her voice trembled. That's me, Joy nodded slowly. You're her. Or at least you look like her. She never made it out that night. Elena. What happened, Joy? Joy. I locked the room, said I'd be right back, but the fire spread faster than I could move, and when I came back, beat. I never left this house again. Narrator. Softly. The wind outside began to calm. The rain softened to a whisper. But inside, time stood still. Elena stepped closer, her eyes filled with tears. Elena. Why me? Joy smiled faintly, in a tired, broken smile. Maybe you were meant to finish the story. Maybe the house just needed someone to remember. He took a step back. His outline began to fade, like smoke dissolving into air. Elena reached out. Joy. Wait. Joy. Don't be afraid. The door's unlocked now. You can leave. Narrator. And with that, he vanished, leaving nothing but silence. Elena collapsed to the floor, the photo still clutched in her hand, tears mixed with dust and rain. Outside, Dawn began to break. The storm was over, but the house still watched. Years later, a for sale sign stood in the yard. The mansion looked quiet, peaceful. Another family moved in, a young couple and their daughter. One evening, as rain began to fall, the girl looked out her window and saw headlights flicker under the same tree by the road. A car, a man, soaked in rain, standing beside it. The girl tilted her head. "Curious, Mom," she called. "Someone's outside." The mother looked, but the road was empty. Later that night, the girl couldn't sleep. Something called her to the hallway. Downstairs, the front door was wide open, swinging slowly in the wind. She stepped outside, holding her flashlight. The rain fell softly now, and in the distance, the faint hum of a car engine. Lightning flashed. For a brief moment, she saw a man standing by the gate, smiling gently. Same eyes, same face. Then he was gone. Narrator, low, fading whisper. Some stories never end. They just wait for the next chapter to begin.